5 innocent shows that weren't what they seem by Savox. Man, you already know what the deal is, man. Follow me on both Jace and Andrews there. Get tapped on my socials. Y'all been going crazy on the J channel, so we gonna post more on this one. But without further ado, have a good day. Everybody stay blessed. Let's get right to it.
Children's television is supposed to be the safest place in media. It has bright colors, silly voices, puppet shows, game shows, and sing-alongs. Parents leave the room because they trust what's on screen. Kids write fan letters, they show up to studio tapings, and they sometimes sit on a host's lap and accept a medal or a sticker, and then go home.
Just make sure it's not Dan Schneider or the dude who made Ren and Stimpy.
Thinking they've had the best days of their lives. That trust is the whole point. It's what makes the format work. It's also what makes these 5 shows possible. Every program in this video looked, on the surface, like exactly what it was supposed to be. A wish fulfillment show on the BBC, a Christian variety hour in Florida, a puppet series for toddlers, a cartoon animal show in the Middle East, and a local kids program in Louisiana. All of them aired, all of them had child audiences, and behind every single one of them was something that, once you know the full story, you will not be able to forget. Although admittedly this first entry didn't really try to hide what was so dark about it.
Tomorrow's Pioneers. Let's get it.
والذي نضع وإياكم حجر
Damn, Mickey be eating good, bro. He fat as fuck.
الأساس لقيادة العالم بقيادة إسلامية.
ونذكركم أننا نحن العظماء انطلقنا في هذا البرنامج لنقود هذا العالم، وستكون النوى بإذن الله تعالى من هنا من فلسطين.
فلسطين يا سراء، من أين بالضبط؟ من غزة؟ أم من القدس؟ أم من رام الله؟ أم من كل فلسطين؟
This must be the Arabic shirt he was
من
talking
كل
about.
فلسطين.
Tomorrow's Pioneers debuted on April 13th, 2007 on Al-Aqsa TV, a television channel operating out of Gaza and run by Hamas. It ran for 4 original seasons through about October 2009, with sporadic new episodes appearing as late as 2022. The show was created and written by Hazim Al-Sharawari, known on the show as Uncle Hazim. It was directed by Fadi Hamad, who was both the chairman of Al-Aqsa's TV board and later Hamas's interior minister. The US State Department designated him as a specially designated terrorist in September 2016, specifically citing his role in airing programs designed to recruit children as fighters and suicide bombers. The show was hosted by a child presenter named Sarah Barhom, who was about 11 years old when filming began. Her uncle, Fawzi Barhom, is a Hamas spokesman. The format looks like something you'd see on Barney the Dinosaur. A child character and a costumed animal host did skits, took phone calls from kids, and talked about daily life. But the content was unlike any children's program ever made. The first character was Farfor, a mouse that was a very obvious copy of Mickey Mouse. Farfor told children that they were laying the foundation for a world led by Islamists. He said they would liberate Jerusalem and Iraq. In one episode, he simulated firing an AK-47 while a child sang about the weapon.
Yeah, Mickey saying some crazy shit.
إيران لهذا رفعت تغني أوف أوف جاوبها لكلاشينكوف احنا اللي ما بنعرف خوف نحن سباع الغابة.
In another, after being caught cheating on an exam, his excuse was that the Jews had destroyed his home and he left his notebooks there.
غصب عني يا أبو هاشم لأنه اليهود هدموا دارنا ولما هدموا دارنا اليهود رحت أنقارنا ما لقيتش لابد ولا دفاتري.
On June 29, 2007, Farfor was beaten to death on screen by an actor playing an Israeli official who was demanding he hand over land documents. Sarah, the child host, then declared that Farfor had been martyred defending his land.
اشمعنى فرفور انه سيدك اعطاك مفاتيح الارض والوراق؟
مين قال لك هذا الكلام؟
انت ما الك مين قال فرفور، لكن المطلوب فرفور.
طيب وايش المطلوب اجدت مني؟
المطلوب فرفور انه تعطينا اوراق الارض.
اوراق الارض اللي جدي اعطاني اياهم امانه عشان احافظ عليهم وعشان احرر فيهم القدس وحرر لما تتحرر الاراضي انا واصدقائي نروح على ارضنا ونقعد فيها. انت اعطيك
It's wild that this show is being displayed to like kids, like young people, like, you know what I'm saying? People like in kindergarten, first, second grade. That's wild.
احنا فرفور بدنا نشتري الارض. شري يا فرفور، بدنا نديك مصاري كتير. بدك تجيبه يعني بدك تجيبه فرفور.
Damn, bro, I don't need these niggas acting no more, buddy. He getting mad.
ولا ناس مجرمين بلاش إرسال، بلاش إرهابية.
احنا أندال، احنا إرهابية فرفور. خد 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 خد.
The fuck going on? This shit ain't for kids.
لقد استشهد فرفور وهو يدافع عن أرضه،
This shit is not for
يدافع
kids.
عن أرض آبائه وأجداده. استشهد على أيدي المجرمين القتلة، قتلة الأطفال الأبرياء.
They're talking about the murders of innocent children. Nigga, I'm 5 watching this. Where's the Play-Doh and the goddamn train cars, my nigga?
Farfo was replaced by Nahul, a bee introduced as his cousin. Nahul vowed vengeance and said he would continue the path of Islam, heroism, and martyrdom. He told children they would liberate Al-Aqsa from, in his words, the filth of the criminal Jews. In one episode, Nahul visited a zoo in Gaza and was filmed swinging real cats by their tails and throwing stones at caged lions. Nahul died in February 2008 after falling ill and being depicted as unable to leave Gaza for medical treatment because of the Israeli blockade. The actor who played Nahul, Mohammed Al-Aria, was 31 years old when he was killed in an Israeli airstrike in July 2014. Nahul was replaced by Asud,
Tragic, bro. RP that nigga.
a rabbit. Despite being introduced as Nahul's brother, which made no biological sense and was never explained, Asud arrived from Lebanon and declared he would finish off the Jews and eat them. He died on January 2nd, 2009, wounded during the Israeli military operation in Gaza, telling children on his deathbed that they must fight and die to liberate Haifa and Tel Aviv. Asud was then replaced by Nasur, a bear, who vowed to join the Al-Qassam brigades and said his hobbies included waging jihad and carrying a gun. In the show's most notorious episode, Nasur and Sarah welcomed the children of Reem Riashi into the studio. Riashi was a suicide bomber who killed 4 Israelis at the Erez crossing in
Nigga,
January.
this is for kids. What the fuck does that have to do with kids, bro? Bro, y'all talking about bombing and war and conflict, bro. I'm trying to just watch Doc McStuff, bro. Turn on some Doc McStuffin, Sophia the First. What's another good show? Team Umi Zumi, some Wow Wow Wubsy, some Robot and Monster, boy. Turn on some Heat, boy. Turn on something that's gonna make me laugh, bro. This shit is sad and terrible, bro. Nigga talking about blowing himself up. This is not for kids, nigga. This is nowhere. No kid should be watching this shit, boy.
2004. Her children were brought on the show and made to watch a music video reenacting their mother's suicide bombing.
Just hit the gym like 2 hours ago. Nigga, my build is scuffed. Boy, my whole today was back in biceps. Nigga, my whole back bicep area is sore.
يا ماما مكاني لا بلية أو هدية جايبها لي طب ارجعي يا ماما
Better put some socks on.
كنت شايلة ما بين ايديكي لغم مكاني دلوقتي بس عرفت ايه كان أغلى مني.
Nasur was the only character who was never killed off. Palestinian Media Watch first flagged the show internationally in April 2007. Disney CEO Robert Iger commented that Disney was appalled by the use of their characters to spread that kind of message. Walt Disney's daughter, Diane Disney Miller, told an Israeli newspaper that what they were dealing with was pure evil. Her comments reportedly prompted the show's creators to kill off Farfo in the martyrdom scene. The US House of Representatives submitted a resolution formally condemning Hamas's use of children's television to promote hatred and violence. Israel bombed Al-Aqsa's TV headquarters.
Yeah, regardless of how you feel about Israel's, me personally, I don't fuck with the Israelis government and what they're doing to the people in Palestine. But it's like, even still, bro, using this shit to like using this shit, like this television network for kids to promote this is crazy. That's insane. You can't be doing that shit, boy.
In 2008, again in 2014, and again in 2018, and designated the station a terrorist organization in 2019. There was a notable translation controversy. CNN's Arabic department found the Memory's widely shared translation of the show contained errors and undue emphasis, including attributing a character's words to a child and translating, quote, "we want to resist" as "we want to fight." Those disputes didn't change the fundamental nature of what the show was doing, which its own creators openly defended. After the October 7th, 2023 attacks, commentators pointed out that children who watched Tomorrow's Pioneers in 2007 would have been of fighting age by 2023, meaning that many of them will have grown up and did exactly what these characters told them to do.
Mr. Wonder.
The Mr. Wonder Show aired on KNOE
I already
TV.
don't like the way this nigga look, bro. I already don't have a good feeling about this nigga.
CBS affiliate in Monroe, Louisiana, starting around 1977. It was hosted by a man named Frank Jones Sealis III, who presided over races and contests between teams of children who were bussed in from local schools. The show started weekly but went daily as it became more popular. In December 1978, Sealis served as Grand Marshal of the Christmas Parade in the Natchitoches Parish, and he was regarded as a local celebrity. Behind the scenes, people had reservations about him. A former co-worker named Tom Cole later said Sealis was very odd and that nobody could stand him. Another colleague, Susan Elaine, said everyone thought he was a little strange, but nobody did anything about it. Sealis had no real credentials. He claimed degrees from the University of Madrid and experience working with children in 31 countries, but none of this was ever verified. Before Louisiana, he taught fourth
They
grade.
just letting anybody do this. They just letting anybody on the team. They ain't do no verification, no two-step. No, let me send a 6-digit code to your number. You know, 6 like that. Let me send a 6-digit code to your number. Make sure you're good. Nah, nigga. Straight, just you're hired, bro. I guess.
At St. Mary's International School, a Catholic boys' school in Tokyo, from 1970 to 1972, where he organized trips with groups of 30 to 40 adolescent boys. Police later learned there had been similar abuse allegations against him during his time overseas. He was reportedly fired for his behavior around boys. After that, he was a principal of a Catholic school at an Indian mission in New Mexico.
No, they let this nigga into Catholic schools. Oh no. Oh, I don't like where this is going. You know what they say about them Catholic priests, bro. You know what they be saying, bro. I don't like where this is
Station
going.
owner at KNOE hired him after meeting him on a plane. No background check was done. Sealis initially worked as a news anchor, but viewers flooded the station with complaints about his delivery, so they moved him to children's programming instead. Using his Mr. Wonder persona, Sealis promoted what he called camping weekends with Mr. Wonder on air. These were trips for boys between 5 and 15 years old. The station didn't sponsor them, but let him advertise during his show. On a camping trip from June 1st to June 3rd, 1979, at a site near Valentine Lake in Kissichee National Forest, Sealis abused at least 7 boys. When the children went home, several told their parents. One victim was hospitalized. Detectives from the Rapids Parish Sheriff's Office secured warrants for 2 counts
Terrible, bro.
of obscene behavior with a juvenile. When they arrived at his home, his wife told them he fled the area. His car turned up the next day in a Dallas suburb. Sealis had escaped to Rio de Janeiro. He came back to the United States in the early 1980s. Over the following decades, he lived in Connecticut, Vermont, Chicago, Massachusetts, and eventually the San Diego area in July 1992. He legally changed his name to Frank John Sealis in a San
I
Diego
ain't gonna
County.
lie. People who abuse kids and do these predatory acts towards children, I ain't gonna lie, we need to bring back medieval torturement on these niggas. Like, you know how medieval times where they do something like that? They would strip you down on like a plank and they would just stretch your limbs out. We need some shit like that. Like, niggas who do shit to kids like that, bro, give them niggas the brazen bull, the bloody eagle, nigga, the testicular torture. These niggas deserve that shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Court. Under his new identity, he relentlessly pursued access to children. He became PTA
See, I
president.
told you, bro. Niggas like this, they don't. The death penalty's not enough, bro. These niggas need to be, like, I'm not saying this like public audience, but like niggas gotta be tied down. One leg attached to one horse, one leg attached to the other. Horses running opposite directions on some shit. That's what these niggas deserve, bro.
2 schools, a PE teacher and soccer coach, a Cub Scout troop leader, a Mormon church volunteer in positions involving children, and a Red Cross swim instructor who gave lessons to kids in his backyard pool. He also advertised Saturday field trips to boys ages 5 to 11. In 1997, he was arrested for bringing young boys from Mexico into the US on a trip to Walt Disney World, but because of the name change, nobody connected him to the Louisiana warrants. The Boy Scouts removed him in 2012 for not complying with youth protection policies. The LDS Church removed him from children's positions for similar reasons. Neither organization notified the police. The original detective on the 1979 case, William Earl Hilton, had since been elected sheriff of Rapids Parish. He asked the U.S. Marshals Service to reopen the case. On January 25, 2016, Sealis was arrested at his home in Bonita, California. He was 76 years old. A Cub Scout uniform was found in the house. At his arraignment,
Decrepit, nasty bitch.
told the judge they had the wrong guy. A grand jury indicted him on 2 counts of aggravated 3 counts of battery and 8 counts of indecent behavior with a
Go ahead and get that nigga the brazen bull, bro. He deserves it.
juvenile, plus 70 additional years. In January 2018, at 78, he took a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of indecent behavior with a juvenile and received 5 years of hard labor, the maximum under 1979 sentencing guideline.
Yeah, 5, nigga. We gonna work you to the bone. And when the prisoners find out what you did, oh, it's done, bro. Nigga, they gonna tear your ass up, figuratively and literally.
His defense attorney called it a no-brainer given the alternative. After release, Sailors faced federal charges for lying on a passport application. He was arrested 3 more times for parole violations, including one instance where his GPS tracker showed he'd gone to a residence where he was denied entry because children lived there. His phone contained multiple pictures of unknown children. His parole officer classified his adjustment as poor and said he appeared unwilling to follow his conditions of
Bro,
release.
this in his life. Get rid of this nigga, bro. Get rid of him.
John Sailors III died in 2021 at roughly 82 years old, having evaded minimal justice for over 4 decades. After the arrest was made, Sheriff Hilton said, "If there was a definition of a sexual predator, this is one. We never forget our victims."
Boo-hoo, the nigga died, bro. Pack wash, nigga.
Hey, Ron, what's going on
What's up? Make videos? Yes, sir.
here? What's wrong with Marty?
I mean, sure.
Oh, Marty's just fine. He just didn't get much sleep last night. He kept waking up asking me if it was here yet.
It's what here?
He sent away for a video of the Becky's Barn program, and he was so excited about it, he wanted to camp out here next to the post office until it came.
Oh, my. Bo, I didn't see you here. Boys and girls, it's Bo from Becky's Barn.
Hi, Professor. Is it here yet?
It's what here?
Oh, I sent away for a video of my favorite program, Joy Junction.
Not you, too.
Boys and girls, to receive your video copy of Joy Junction or Becky's Barn, just send a $12 donation to Post Office Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 34618.
And you'll receive 2 specially selected programs on each tape. Specify whether you want Joy Junction or Becky's Barn, and you don't have to camp out at the post office.
Hey, look! It's here!
Joy Junction premiered on November 10, 1979 on WCLF Channel 22 in Clearwater, Florida. It was produced by the Christian Television Network, founded by a local electrical contractor named Bob DeAndrea. The show ran for about 25 years until about 2005, when it was quietly pulled off the air with no explanation. At its peak, it aired nationally on the Trinity Broadcasting Network, FamilyNet, and other Christian stations across the country. The format was a Christian children's variety
All these old shows having these dolls, man.
game show. A live studio audience of kids was split into red and blue teams for games, refereed by the host, a man called Don McAllister, who played a character called Sheriff Don. Each episode had comedy skits, puppetry, art segments, Bible verse readings, and moral lessons. By 1987, the show was receiving over 2,000 letters a month, and it won an Angel Award in 1982 from the International Christian Visual Media Association. The cast included Forrest Padley as Professor Clodhopper, David Brantley as Whitler Dan, and a man named Ronald William Brown, who appeared as Ron, performing a ventriloquist act with a boy puppet called Marty. In their segments together, Marty would bring up childhood problems like peer pressure and bullying, and Ron would give Christian-themed advice.
And Philippians 2:3, be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. You know, you can never make fun of someone if you think that much of them, could you?
Oh, that's for sure,
Right.
Professor Clodhopper.
Well, I did make fun of someone once that I remember, Professor.
Really?
Oh, really, Marty? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened?
Well, there was this little kid, and he lives down the street from me, and I always thought that he looked, well, sort of different.
What do you mean he looks sort of different, Marty?
He was always wearing these real dark glasses, and when he walked down the road, he had this big dog in a harness that showed him where to go.
Oh, Marty, from what you've described, it sounds to me like he was blind. I hope you didn't say anything to him.
Oh, no, I didn't do that. But one day I was out in the yard playing with my friend Scott, and that kid, the one with the glasses, you know? He started walking down the road, and I turned over to Scott, and I said, hey, Scott, look at this kid coming down the road.
Oh, no, I hope he didn't hear you, Marty.
No, he didn't, but Scott said, Marty, you shouldn't say that. That's Calvin, and he's a good friend of mine. Let's go over and talk to him. I asked Calvin to forgive me.
And what did he say, Marty?
He said, well, Marty, that's okay, That happens sometimes. And you know what else he said? He said, since I lost my eyesight a few years ago, God has given me a new kind of sight. A new kind of sight? What did he mean by that, Marty? He said, since I can't see, I try to look at what folks are like on the inside. Oh, I think I see what he's saying. You know, Marty, that reminds me of a verse in the Bible found in 1 Samuel 16:7. And it says, man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh at the heart. And that's what really counts, Ron.
There were also a couple of times where Ron and Marty would talk about pornography and dirty thoughts.
You know, we need to be very careful about what we put in our minds and our hearts, Marty. That's for sure. You know, putting bad thoughts in our mind and our heart would almost be like canning rotten peaches. Yuck! Who would want to eat rotten peaches? Well, I know I wouldn't, that's for sure. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, Marty. You know, there's a kid at school and he's always using dirty words and telling dirty jokes. Well, Marty, we know what he's putting into his mind and his heart, don't we? Because
good messages, telling people to treat others how you want to be treated. So how does it go from this to whatever the hell's about to
that's
happen?
what's coming out. It sure is. Well, they said, Marty, come over here and take a look at our pictures. So I walked on over there and I took a look. And do you know what it was? What was it, Marty? Well, it was in Arizona, I'll tell you that right now. Ron, they were looking at some dirty pictures and they wanted me to look too. Well, Marty, what did you do? Well, I said, look, guys, I like you a lot and I want to play with you, but I can't look at those pictures. I just can't do it. You know, that kind of reminds me of a verse I'm thinking of in the Bible that's found in 2 Timothy 2:22. And it says that you should run away from anything that will give you evil thoughts. And as your companions, you should have friends who have pure and clean thoughts and will only give you good ideas.
Ronald William Brown lived alone in a mobile home park in Largo, Florida. Outside of Joy Junction, he ran a business called Puppet Plus and volunteered in youth ministry at Gulf Coast Church, where he drove children to church in a van and held weekly pizza parties for neighborhood kids at his home. He performed for the Tampa Bay Rays, local schools, and Jewish family services. The first sign of trouble surrounding him came in 1998, when a sheriff's deputy pulled Brown over for a traffic violation and found boys' underwear in the front seat. At his home, they found a blow-up doll dressed in children's clothes. Brown said that the items were for puppet shows and
No, it was not for no puppet show. You had a boy's underwear in your passenger seat. You had a blow-up doll dressed as a boy. That has nothing to do with a puppet show.
charges were filed. His crimes came to light through Operation Halitna, a massive international child pornography investigation led by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The operation had traced a global network from a Massachusetts hotel manager to a Dutch daycare worker who had assaulted 87 children, and then to a man in Kansas named Michael Arnett. On Arnett's computers, investigators found extensive chat logs with Ronald William Brown. The conversations contained graphic discussions about kidnapping children, abusing them, murdering them, and eating them. On July 19, 2022, federal agents raided Brown's trailer. They seized computers, discs, cameras, and VHS tapes. They found hundreds of images of child and journal entries going back to 1978, expressing desire to harm and consume children. That means these—
Go ahead. Not only do this nigga want to harm kids, he wants to eat them. Go ahead and throw that nigga in the chair. Go ahead and throw that nigga in the chair. Throw that nigga in the cell,
fantasies
bro. Go ahead and throw that nigga in the fucking cell. What the fuck?
predated his time on Joy Junction. The most disturbing find was a photograph of a specific 10-year-old boy from his church that Brown had marked up to show how he would butcher the child. In his chats, he wrote about this boy. He discussed wanting to carve and cook the body parts of a young parishioner for Easter. In March 2013, Brown pleaded guilty to 5 counts of receiving child pornography and 3 counts of possessing it. A federal judge sentenced him to 20 years, well above the sentencing guidelines, citing Brown's documented interest in dead children,
Way too little time sentence. Send them niggas to life, bro.
murder, and cannibalism. He was one of at least 51
wants to eat kids.
people arrested worldwide through Operation Halitna. More than 160 children were rescued globally. Brown's co-conspirator, Jeffrey
God.
Portway of Massachusetts, who had built a dungeon in his basement designed to hold children, received 27
What the fuck? A dungeon? Are we dead?
7 years. An ICE spokesman said it was the most gruesome case he'd ever seen at the
I'm too tired for this, bro.
agency. Brown died in federal prison on August 5th, 2020 at 65 from motor
Bro, get that nigga up out of
neuron disease. After the arrest, the networks that had aired Joy Junction reportedly destroyed their copies and refused to acknowledge the show ever existed. Today, fewer than 30
It can't just be some like, oh, I robbed the store notion. No, it has to be this, bro.
9 episodes have surfaced, mostly from VHS recordings. The show exists almost entirely as lost media, and you can't really blame the networks for wanting to forget that they once had such a demonic human being on their channels.
It's not even like he was like a criminal, like robbing, or I stole a couple of cash dollars or something like that, broke into a couple houses. No, he might be the worst dude to ever exist. He might be up there, boy. Life of Grandpa.
Life with Grandpa, what can be more fun? Living where there's love for everyone. Learning lessons each and every day. Learning from the Word of God.
Who thought this was for kids, bro? These dolls is terrifying.
Life to guide our way. Life with Grandpa, what can be more fun? That is why we are happy, that is why that we sing. It's because of Jesus, He's everything. We have a purpose in each new day, learning how to share and give God's love away. Life with Grandpa, what could be more fun? Living where there's love for everyone. Learning lessons each and every day. Learning from the Word of God, the life to guide our way. Life with Grandpa, won't you come?
Could have skipped that, bro.
Formerly known as the Children of God. Now, unlike the other shows on this list, this wasn't actually broadcast on normal television. It was distributed on VHS tapes to the cult's communes around the world for internal use only. But due to the nature of the show itself, it definitely still belongs on this video. The show featured humanoid puppets representing a family led by a character called Grandpa. This character was modeled directly on the cult's founder, David Brandt Burke, and other puppets were mapped onto real people in
this can only go so great.
the organization. Mother Maria represented Karen Zerbe, Berg's partner and eventual successor. David Ditto represented Ricky Rodriguez, Berg's adopted son. Each episode ran about 27 minutes and featured stories, skits, and songs that were supposedly teaching children Christian values. The actual message throughout was total, unquestioning obedience to authority, specifically to Grandpa, and by extension, David Berg. The content of the show was
Look, I'm all for obeying authority in some regards. Like, yes, your children should listen to you if you're the parent, but it's like saying never question authority is setting up your children to be okay with dictatorships. And what happens when the authorities don't do what they need to do?
alarming when you understand the context. Scenes endorse spanking children with what looked like a whip.
I warned you to settle down, but you disobeyed and didn't listen. So we're going to have to give you both a good spanking.
The Lord says, "As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten." Jesus spanks us because he loves us and wants us to obey and be good.
Women were portrayed as domestic servants, and one segment featured the grandpa puppet fondling the breasts of a female robot character that had naked human breasts, while lyrics played about
Say, Fox, how do you even find stuff like this, bro? I rock, like, you know I rock with you, bro. I've been rocking with you since you was the Android 17 channel, and I'll watch you rebrand and to grow into this great horror channel. You know I rock with you, bro. You know I've been rocking with you. How do you find this? Where are you finding this? What the fuck?
about him putting in his key and her getting excited.
I don't want to watch. I don't want this on my screen. Get it off the screen, bro.
No puppet to run a toy
let you get that off.
car down his quote mountain, positioned near his crotch.
Look, David, Grandpa has a big mountain with the blanket over his legs. You can roll your cars down on it.
Grandpa, what the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Look, David, like this.
What the fuck is this shit?
That's fun. I want to do it.
No, you don't.
An
Grandpa slinging under the bed. What the fuck?
accompanying comic book series was even more explicit, with the grandpa character explaining in uncensored language how his wife had sex with other men. For children raised inside the cult, this was among the only media they were allowed to watch. All outside content was forbidden. Life with Grandpa functioned as a grooming tool. It conditioned children to trust adults without question and normalized the sexual content they were experiencing daily. David Berg founded the group in 1968 at a coffee house in Huntington Beach, California.
David Berg, you sick bastard.
It grew rapidly, eventually claiming tens of thousands of members in over 70 countries. Berg went into hiding in 1971 and governed through nearly 3,000 written directives called Mo Letters, covering everything from spiritual teaching to explicit sexual instructions, and he was wanted by Interpol. Berg's doctrine, which he called the Law of Love, held that all sexual expression was sanctioned by God. This included children. Berg explicitly taught that children should be involved in activities from essentially the time they were born. The cult also practiced something called flirty fishing from 1976 to 1987, a form of religious prostitution where female members had sex with potential recruits. According to the cult's own records, members had sexual contact with over 223,000 people through flirty fishing during that period. The most documented case of abuse within the cult was that of Ricky Rodriguez, the boy the David Ditto puppet was based on. He was born in 1975 in Tenerife to Karen Zerbe. His father was a Spanish hotel worker Zerbe had recruited through flirty fishing. Rodriguez was adopted by Berg and designated the cult's—
Look at his teeth, bro. Look at how yellow his teeth are. Nigga, this nigga don't use Colgate?
future prophet. His abuse was documented in a book called The Story of David Ditto, published in 1982 and distributed to cult communes worldwide. It was presented as a child-rearing manual. It graphically depicted the abuse of Rodriguez from the age of 18 months by his nanny and others. Berg annotated the book with comments endorsing what was being done to the child. Former members testified to what they witnessed. Davida Kelly told CNN she had witnessed Karen Zerbe having intercourse with her own son when he was 11. Berg's own granddaughter, Mary Berg, testified in a British court that he had molested her as a teenager. Children in the cult were beaten, whipped, separated from their parents, given almost no education, and sent to training camps involving hard labor, sleep deprivation, exorcisms, and enforced silence. Rodriguez left the cult in
what was going on in the 70s and 80s, bro?
2001. He struggled
Bro, all this
profoundly
shit
with
is in the 70s. What was going on?
what had been done to him. On January 8, 2005, he lured Angela Smith, one of his childhood abusers, to his apartment in Tucson, Arizona. He stabbed her 5 times and cut her throat. The next day, he drove to Blythe, California,
be mad at that, bro. Can't be mad at it.
And shot himself. He was 29. Before he did it, he recorded a 60-minute video. He said he had a need, not a want, for revenge, a need for justice, because he couldn't go on the way he was.
I got stuck on this one thing. I got stuck because there's this need that I have. This need, it's not a want, it's a fucking need, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's a need for revenge. It's a need for justice. Because I can't go on like this. So, I can imagine how I would feel, how liberating it would be. And I hope that if I'm successful, I mean, I can't see how it wouldn't have this effect on people, you know? And anything you talk about the family would end up like, oh, but Jesus Christ, they got what they deserved. Even the thought, even the attempt at bringing that about for people, that gift to give them is worth it for. You bet it is.
Actress Rose McGowan was raised in the cult Italian communes until she was 9, when her family fled after Berg began openly advocating adult child sex. The Phoenix family were members from 1972 to 1978. River Phoenix later revealed he was 4 years old when he first had sex within the group. Despite investigations across multiple countries and a landmark 1995 British ruling by Lord Justice Ward that found the cult had engaged in widespread physical and abuse of children, no senior leader was ever criminally convicted. Berg died in hiding in Portugal in 1994, never receiving any kind of punishment for the monster that he was, and all the lives he ruined.
I hope he's in hell rotting, my nigga. What the fuck? I ain't even got no more jokes. It's just, I'm distraught, bro. Bro, please tell me this is the last one, bro. I can't think much more of this, boy.
Hello.
I ain't even got no more jokes, bro.
There, welcome to some more Super Jimmel Fix-Its.
I don't trust this nigga already, bro. I don't like this. Let me guess, it's in the 70s. I'm already knowing, bro. It's in the 70s. guess. 70s or early 80s. Let me go ahead and
somebody too to join a brass band or a sailing ship crew.
If you want to be queen of the night, or if you want to dine in style,
or you want to be Thunderbird too, Prince Charming is your dream come true. Jim will fix it.
Yep, Jimmy's back. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know that Jimmy Savile is sort of a regular on this channel. Even when he isn't the one I'm talking about, he manages to find his way into my videos. I already
What is this hairstyle?
talked about his uneventful and quite brief wrestling career years ago in my first Evil Wrestlers video, but now we're talking about his television career, specifically the TV show Jim Will Fix It. Jim Will Fix It aired from 1975 to 1994 on the BBC. The premise was simple. Children wrote letters to Jimmy Savile describing something they'd always wanted to do.
Let me guess, he's a predator. I'm already knowing, bro. Let me just predict he likes kids.
Would then make it happen on camera. One child might get to eat lunch on a roller coaster. Another might get to play drums with a famous band like Iron Maiden.
Seeing as Uncle Jimmy can't be here today, I'm going to have to do the honours. Because I come from the nearest point to Leeds, which is where he's supposed to come from. So, put this down.
Yes,
I'll do this.
down here. Roll on the drums.
No, then, darling. How's about that then, guys and girls? We fixed it for this young lad here. Only see Iron Maiden. Play, I must be filled in. I'm very well done there, Dominic. And I wish you all success in your career as a roadie. How's about that then? No then. All right,
yeah! At the end of each segment, the child would sit in Savile's big mechanical chair and receive a silver medal engraved with the words, "Jim fixed it for me." At its peak, the show pulled in 20 million viewers and received 20,000 letters a week. It was one of the most beloved programs in British television history. In a way, the show's appeal was its innocence. A child's handwritten letter would appear on screen, read aloud by Savile in the early series, then later as a voiceover by the children themselves. The wish would then play out, either pre-filmed on a location or live in the studio. Some of them were mundane, others were spectacular. An 8-year-old boy named Daniel Middleton got his wish to visit the Dagobah set from The Empire Strikes Back and meet Luke Skywalker and R2-D2. Darth Vader also appeared on the show, as did Chewbacca. Apparently Vader and Chewie were both played by their movie actors David Prowse and Peter Mayhew respectively, though I can't find any actual confirmation for this. In one segment, one of the children translated what Chewie was saying when Savile asked him to, and he said that Chewie could sense an evil presence.
What's he saying?
He senses an evil presence.
He senses an evil presence.
Yes.
Who could that be?
You!
Nobody was meant to take it seriously, but looking back, it lands very differently.
You don't eat little boys, do you? Do you eat little girls? Only sometimes.
In April 1994, in one of the show's final episodes, a young girl wrote in asking to go sailing. Savile fixed it so that she could spend the day aboard HMS Cottesmore, a Royal Navy ship captained at the time by Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. The Daily Express billed it as the final fix.
Prince Andrew. I don't like that. That name sounds like it's bad. Wasn't he in the files?
and Savile were well acquainted. Years later, Prince Andrew would make headlines all over the world after allegations that he had been involved in sex trafficking and was also in the
Prince Andrew sound like a weirdo.
Epstein files. Andrew, of course, denied all the allegations. The fact that he appeared on Jim Will Fix It alongside Savile has not aged well at all. What makes it worse looking back is that two of the show's celebrity guests were themselves convicted sex offenders, and this isn't the first time I've talked about them. Rolf Harris appeared on Jim Will Fix It at least twice, in 1976 and 1993. In the 1976 episode, Savile read out a letter from a young girl called Lindsay who wanted to watch Harris paint. The girl was brought on stage and placed between the two men, with Savile stroking her hair and shoulders, then turning to Harris and saying he'd leave her to him. Harris replied she was safe in his capable hands. That footage resurfaced in 2020.
Yeah, go ahead and kill both of them, bro. Slime both of them out, bro. Slime both of them out, bro. Off rip. Slime them out, bro.
In the ITV documentary, Rolf Harris, Hiding in Plain Sight, and was widely described as one of the most disturbing clips on the internet. As we all know, Harris was convicted in June 2014 of 12 counts of indecent assault and sentenced to 5 years and 9 months, though he would serve less than 3 years.
No, so you need to up that shit to 5 years in solitary confinement. I want this nigga to suffer, bro.
And died in May 2023.
Do you think I may leave her in your charge?
Safely leave her in my capable hands here.
Right. Right,
I'll just
I'll
roll
be-
my sleeves up in case I get
I'll
some
be back in a
scans on.
minute. Back in a minute. Off you go.
And of course, Gary Glitter appeared on Jim Will Fix It several times, including in 1991, performing his act on stage surrounded by children, and it's well known that Savile and Glitter were quite close. In a later interview, Savile publicly defended Glitter after his 1999 conviction for downloading 4,000 images of child pornography, saying his friend hadn't done anything wrong because he hadn't tried to show the images in public.
All he did was to take his computer into PC World to get it repaired. And they went into the hard drive, saw all these dodgy pictures, and told the police. And the police then, oh, we've got a famous person. Oh my goodness, yeah, we'll have them. But Gary had not sold it, not tried to sell them, not tried to show them in public or anything like that. It would for his own gratification, whether it was right or wrong. Is of course it's up to another person. But they didn't do anything wrong, but they are then demonised. And of course, if you said to a couple, what's Gary Glitter doing wrong? They well, nothing to do. They just sat at home watching these dodgy films.
Glitter, of course, would go on to be convicted of child sex offences in Vietnam in 2006 and sentenced to 3 years. Back in the UK, he was convicted again in February 2015 of attempted rape, indecent assault, and having sex with a girl under 13, and sentenced to 16 years. He was briefly released, but almost immediately returned to prison because he tried Googling how to get onto the dark web. He's still in prison today and is apparently on his last legs. So that's Jim Will Fix It, a show for children.
Bro, I'm in this shit early, bro. I don't even want to watch it no more. I don't even want to watch this whole no more, bro. Shout out my nigga Savox, bro. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. YouTube, bro. Like and subscribe, bro. Like and subscribe, man. Sub up, bro. Some, but shout out Savox for this event. Like always, this your boy Jay. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay blessed. And I'm out.